Business 101 students, welcome to week 3 of the second 8 weeks. Catherine Robertson here, your instructor. Just reaching out to you about, week 1 and week 2 materials. If you haven't sent those to me, do that as soon as possible to get those in the grade book. So week 5 and week 6, chapters 5 and 6, week 3. So chapter 5 from the text talks a lot about how we communicate in the business world, right? And how we communicate in the business world is very similar to how we communicate in our personal worlds, right? And so some of you are in my business communications class or have taken a business communications class. And so we discuss a lot of the different ways that you can interact not only with folks that are coworkers, but also with individuals that might be a subordinate or an individual that might be a boss, for instance. And all of the different channels that are out there, how do we choose which channel to use? So chapter 5 talks about business communication. So make sure that you read chapter 5 in the text and that you review the PowerPoint. And then chapter 6, I would suggest watching the video, types of business formation. First, that video is narrated by an accountant. And so he talks a lot about specific forms. You don't need to know the forms, but I will tell you that the video, it's about an 8-minute video, reviews most of chapter 6. It talks about the different sole proprietorship, limited liability, and a limited liability partnership, a C corporation and an S corporation. The chapter 6 also talks about nonprofits and how they fit into the mix, as well as when you review the PowerPoint, you will see there are things there about really the important parts are, knowing what limited liability means and understanding how businesses have to choose, right? What kind of business they want to be. An S Corp is just a special form of a C Corp, and it kind of goes into that in the chapter. And then this week we have chapter 5 and chapter 6 homework, and we also have a discussion, the second discussion from week 3. And this is an application question that relates to chapter 6 from the text and talks about a typical partnership and how it spells out the details, such as how, initial financial contributions might be and items like that. So go ahead and then looking at, in 2 or 3 sentences, explain what you found relating to a partnership in Pennsylvania. And so, that is so see what you can find about how you form a partnership in Pennsylvania. That is chapter 6, and it is week 3 in discussion 2. Also this week, what you will see is I'm going to post some information relating to the term project. So each individual in week 1, I had you choose a publicly traded company, and you are going to start looking at some of the items that relate to a publicly traded company, and I want to make sure that I have that posted for you under the course-specific content, which I should. Let's see if it's under there. The project, here it is. Okay, so if you go under course-specific content, I will also put a copy of it in chapter week 3. So if you go under course-specific content, you will see Business 101 term project. And so I'm going to introduce that this week. The purpose of the project is for you to try out your business knowledge by assessing a currently functioning publicly traded company. And so in discussion post 1, you mentioned a company that you might be interested in, examples like Nike, Apple, Google, General Motors, to name a few. And you're going to look at them and you're going to use some of the concepts that we have been talking about, right? And so I have 5 items in there. 5 sections. You don't have to have all 5 sections, but this is a good jumping off point. So really 1 and 2 we've kind of covered. The business environment. Why did you choose a particular business and how is your chosen business navigating the world marketplace? That's chapters 1 and 2 roughly. And handling ethical or social responsibility. So that would be tied more to chapter 4. Is there anything going on with your company? Right? Are they embroiled in any type of lawsuit? Are they doing things to give back? Anything that would be ethical or social. And number 2, in which industry does your company operate? So talk a little bit about the industry, maybe how the company was started, when it was founded. You're going to do a synopsis, really, kind of a book report on your company. And then 3, how's the business doing financially? Are they stable? Is their stock stable or volatile? And that starts to relate when we get into some of the later chapters that we haven't done yet. So you can this unfolds as the semester goes along. What is the current marketing mix? And what types of employees, if you're looking at human resources, if you can find, is there something specific that the company looks for when they're hiring folks? Now, for the project, 2 to 3 pages is what I'm looking for an individual. A couple citations from a few sources. Now, the first thing that you would want to do would be go to your company's website, and then you are going to look for investor relations. And once you find investor relations, then you are going to look for something called an annual report or a 10K. Once you have the annual report, then your paper is like a shortened version of an annual report. And I will put a link to an annual report also in this week 3, so you can see what an example is of an annual report. I will use maybe Microsoft. I'll use Microsoft for their annual report. And so the annual report has a lot of different things in it that would be useful to you. Risk factors, industry-related items, financials, things like that. So take a look at that and try to find your company's investor relation page, and then see if you can find their annual report and then the 10K that's inside the annual report. If you have questions, you can always reach out to me via email, crobertson@ec3pa.org, or via text 814-490-6473. Welcome to week 3.